What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. Today we're going to be talking about the best linebackers in Madden 20. Now, remember when I do these videos, I'm not trying to let you guys say, all right, look, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to buy packs, I'm going to do whatever. I'm giving you guys, based on what I've seen, are the best linebackers available. And some of them are very cheap, some of them are a little bit costly, but like right now we're in Series 3. So for instance, Von Miller is not that expensive like how he was when I had to grind for him using competitive trophies earlier on in Series 1. So you guys got to look at it like that. You don't need to get all these players right now. Okay, it's about making sure that you have the best players on your squad when it comes time, because everybody is realizing right now that the game, in order for you to pass the ball, no matter what level of play, competitive, if you're just starting out, you have to have escape artists and run around like a moron and throw the ball. Like it's that hard for your plays to get open. They've completely changed the game, and the mechanics behind it make it very, very difficult for you to just function properly and just be a normal human being and sit in the pocket and throw the ball. So because of all of this stuff with the running outside and escape artists and everything like that, you need the fastest linebackers on the outside in order to maintain that. Okay, so pretty much right now, you're going to see a new addition right there, Jadeveon Clowney. I'm going to go into some information into what I think about him and is he worth it. Over here, you'll see that we have the lockdown with the way that we have, where's the other thing? The pass rush, we have 15, and we have lockdown with 30 of 30. Okay, we're going to go over why I have lockdown on him. You know, pretty much right now with the way I have to manipulate who has what, I got to be careful to make sure that I keep the man in the zone coverages up high on Deion Sanders and Denzel Ward, because it actually does help them play better with the actual chemistries. So that's pretty much why I had to do that right there. But that's pretty much like, look, listen, when you start to formulate your linebackers, primarily, you know, guys like Ray Lewis, they're blitzers. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even though I have lockdown on him, it's lockdown on him simply because I just need the chemistry. It's not because I have him out there playing coverage and the dude has like a 70 zone, like 71 zone. Like, I'm not doing that. Even with Ryan Shazier with the higher zone coverage, sometimes they do not play the proper zone regardless. It's just the way the game is. It's nothing else that has anything to do with you, me, or whatever. You know, certain players are not going to jump. You know, Ray Lewis, if you have him in coverage, they've made it so the linebackers don't jump. They'll just stand there and the ball will go over their heads, regardless of how tall they are. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's part of the game. So when you're talking about linebackers, we're going to break it down into different type of styles, all right? Now, primarily, even though Ryan Shazier, like I said, they usually don't make him jump, if you click on in time, you will be able to jump with Ryan Shazier and Ray Lewis. If the person that you're using, like say your D linemen, right? Say your D linemen are in zones, they'll just stand there even if you click on. Like Julius Peppers is 6'7", and I played a zone coverage yesterday in a clutch situation to try to get get a victory or whatever, and I tried to pick it and he just stood there and he's 6'7". So the functionality of the game, I'm just making you guys understand, because this guy can actually be switched to linebacker using the secondary positions. So it's something that you guys can keep in mind when I'm talking about linebackers. If you go to Julius Peppers and you wanted to make him a linebacker and start him there, you could make him a linebacker. So just so you know that when you're figuring out how you want to formulate your team, you can do that and let him keep all of his chemistries and his team chem and all that stuff and put him at the other position. All right, just so that we're clear with certain players that can also be moved. Now let's go to the top linebackers. Now Boz, he's a very, very good linebacker. I don't really care for him too much though, because Bo Jackson trucked him, but that's not what this is about. That's all I remember him, everything that happened, that's pretty much how I remember Boz, but don't worry about that. That's not what it's about. Ryan Shazier is my MUT team captain. Many of you guys, if you've chose another MUT team captain, some of you guys have reverted back and went back and traded in and got Ryan Shazier. Ryan Shazier, in my opinion, is a must-have. Now remember, I can have him at a 91 speed, but I currently have Brawler on him. So the Brawler only gives him +1 because I want to keep him at a 93. Depending on the type of physical chems you put on, obviously it influences the way that these players play. So he's a must-have. Even with the way that he is at a 90 speed right now, he's still way better than a lot of the other middle linebackers that are available. So his zone coverage is what sets him apart. I believe he's a staple on any defense because he play. Like I said, he's not gonna. The CPU usually won't jump after any pick, but if you click on and jump, sometimes they'll give you something. You know what I'm saying? But they don't they don't let the linebackers jump the way that they should, depending on their height and stuff like that. If you're usering them the entire play and you're close to the play, they'll let you jump. But if you put them in coverage and then you click on at the last minute, I know you guys have seen this where the guy just doesn't jump. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I'm making something up. They've made it so that the secondary players are the only players that actually have legs in Madden 20. And you guys, if you know what I'm talking about, yo, bro, just write legs, L-E-G-S, in the comments. Like, dudes literally just do not jump for the ball if they're a linebacker or a defensive end. It's some of the most I don't even understand how you come up with that. Like, to be honest, it's wild. It's wild and savage. But that's part of the game, and we have to adapt to it, because if we don't, we're going to lose a lot of games because people are going to throw out routes right over our heads if we're not playing the proper coverages. So just keep that in mind. Regardless of the linebacker or how good they are, if you let the computer play them in zone and you don't click on at the end, typically they will not pick the ball. It'll just go over their heads. All right. And also, jumping has nothing to do with it. It's just it's a random situation. All right. So Shazier is a staple. Ray Lewis is still there because he has very, very good run pursuit. I don't know exactly what it is about him, but if you have him, you know what I'm talking about. If somebody's running stretch and Ray Lewis is anywhere near the play, he's going to attack the run way better than a lot of players. Also, he has 93 hit power, which makes him very, very good. And again, he's pretty cheap relative to like the Bosworth and all these other guys that are, you know, pretty much higher priced. And he makes good plays. Okay, like, he is definitely somebody that I would look into. You know, with the run game is so OP. You really have to have players like Ray Lewis out there that can, you know, fill the gaps, get in there, and make moves, bro. Like, seriously. He's not somebody that you definitely, you know, like I said, you don't want to leave him in zone coverage or anything like that. I blitz him. Like, when you see, just so you guys know, when Ray Lewis is out there, he's blitzing the run. Like, this man is not in coverage. Hey, you hike the ball, he's coming in there. Like, no, I'm not playing games with you. Like, I really need this to happen right now. I need you to be sacked immediately. Like, that's where I'm at with it. So that's what Ray Lewis is. That's how you should utilize him. Again, he has brawler. If I wanted him to have 91 speed, I would give him sprinter, but then he would lose strength, and I don't want him to do that because I need him to get off the blocks in the actual gameplay. All right, so those two linebackers are my key components. Patrick Willis and Dre Greenlaw. These guys are just there for the 49ers, Ken. All right, so not really that big of a deal. I don't need to go into all of that with those guys. So those are my top two right there for middle linebacker, right? Von Miller, he doesn't play linebacker for me right now. Julius Peppers does. I just start Julius Peppers at left end to keep his overall right because it affects everything. But Von Miller actually plays DN for me in my 3-4. But these two guys, like, the reason that I pointed out the position change is because Julius Peppers is actually a very, very good linebacker. When you put him in 3-4 as the outside linebacker, he plays like the old school Julius Peppers. So he's definitely a good player to have out there doing that. All right. So, you know, Von Miller and Julius Peppers, when you put Von Miller inside at the like left end or right end, he plays out of his mind. Okay, so it's not like you need him to be out there. It's just because he's an 85 speed. Peppers is an 88 speed with a lot better you know, attributes, finesse move and stuff like that. So that finesse move is what makes Julius Peppers so glitchy. I do highly recommend him on the outside, and if you do have Von Miller, play him on the inside in your 3-4. But Julius Peppers on the outside in any formation is a nightmare to deal with because he's so fast and he has that the finesse specialist. All right, so those two guys are very, very key. After that, Jadeveon Clowney and Lawrence Taylor. Let's talk about Jadeveon Clowney. All right, now, to be honest with you, you don't, like, again, if you don't use Jadeveon Clowney, it's not that big of a deal if you have Lawrence Taylor, okay? Because Lawrence Taylor is really, 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 really good, okay? Even though some of his numbers are outdated at this point, you can see the 90 threshold is the 90 threshold. So both of them, you know, the power moves are pretty much the same. The block sheds, 86 to 89 is pretty much the same. The play recognition is something that Jadeveon Clowney has, and you're going to start to see more of him in your online gameplay, because what that does is RPOs, different type of run sets with the you know, the stretch and things of that nature. He's able to pick up on it a lot faster than the other cards. He can tell whether it's a run or a pass, and when the CPU is on him, he just makes the right move. Obviously, he's a lot weaker than Lawrence Taylor because they couldn't just give him everything, but you can see his acceleration is next level tier in the 90 threshold, and then he's going to be 1 speed point faster because I have Lawrence Taylor up to 88 speed where where he's chemmed up. That's why I kept Sprinter on him, even though he lost strength. I kept Sprinter on him regardless. But in all honesty, having both of them is kind of crazy because in my nickel, I can't use Lawrence Taylor. My nickel double A gap, like it's impossible for me to use Lawrence Taylor. But again, with the way that everything works out, Jadeveon Clowney is really, 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 really good. Like when I'm saying that he's really, really good, like he's unbelievably, like he makes a lot of plays. And for people that like to use escape artists, he definitely gets out there with that 89 speed a lot faster with the Excel. Will he be blocked up though? Yes, he would. Yes, he absolutely. In certain cases, when these dudes are running on aggressive and they're doing whatever they want, it's almost impossible for any your linebacker could be Jesus. He's not getting off the block because the game is designed like that for them to hold those blocks in certain cases. You can get off of the block depending on if you tap the X button or the A button if you're on Xbox. But it's very, very difficult to just say that he's better than LT because LT screams the same way Jadeveon Clowney screams. It's just that they made Jadeveon Clowney have better, he has better awareness. Okay, he can do different things that LT cannot. So having both of them in the 3-4, it's beautiful, but in my nickel defense, I only can really, it depends. Sometimes I put Lawrence Taylor out there, sometimes I don't. Because he has decent block shed at an 86, so the double A gap kind of works a little bit better with him. I could actually use him and Ray Lewis in the double A gap, and so they could scream down the middle, because I think those two have the higher block shed. He's a 90. Where's the other guy? Where's Ryan Shazier? Oh, they don't put Ryan Shazier there? Or was Ryan Shazier above all of that? Yeah, there he is. All right, so yeah, his block shed is a 77. This guy his block shed is a 92. You see, I could experiment and see if Aaron Donald will go crazy with the double A gap, but then I have to put somebody else on the other side. And then again, that makes it very, very difficult because when you playing against running quarterbacks, when you come out of the nickel, just put the fastest players there. That's all I'm going to tell you. Put your fastest players that are available on your D-line no matter what. Because when they hike the ball and they wait for the guys to crash straight in, and then they run escape artists to the right or the left, you just need speed out there. That's pretty much what it is. So Jadeveon Clowney and LT, they work beautiful together inside of my 3-4, but nickel, you're going to have to sacrifice. At this time, though, would I recommend Jadeveon Clowney over LT? Not necessarily. Like, he hasn't been like a wow factor, like, oh my God, like, but you can see when it's time for him to pursue, he has very, very good pursuit. But LT is still very, very good if you wanted to start there and, move yourself, move your way up from there. As far as the abilities go, you got to be very, very careful with that. Now, you'll see on the right side, I have Julius Peppers, I have Jadeveon Clowney, I have Pat Tillman. So for Julius Peppers, let's go over what he has rocking out, okay? Indoor baller, because I want reduced zone objectives so that he can get to his fairmonger quicker. Finesse specialist is a must. Edge threat is a must. All right? Okay, let's go to the next one. We're going to go to, who else do we have over there? Jadeveon Clowney. All right? I think I give him power specialist, right? Yeah, power specialist and edge threat. For the guys that can't get finesse specialist, power specialist immediately. Okay, indoor baller again. Edge threat. Edge threat is very, very good because when you have those crazy tackles like Joe Thomas and these other guys that come out and they have the abilities, edge threat kind of neutralizes it to make it a little bit easier for you to get in regardless. All right, so that's one thing that you guys need to take some attention to. Pay attention to it is what I was trying to say, but it was getting caught up in there. All right, so Pat Tillman now. Pat Tillman is the other guy you should have your abilities on, just so you guys know who all my abilities and what my abilities are. Enforcer, Tackle Supreme, and Lurker. You need to have those, okay? Make sure you have them. I took away the indoor baller because Tackle Supreme, it just helps you to not get faked out and spin moved and treated like an idiot. Now, having the other, the indoor baller is actually pretty cool because once he gets activated with a few hit sticks, well, I think it's like, what is it, like 4 instead of 5? Everybody on your defense gets highlighted and they start going wild. So you could mix and match the Tackle Supreme with Indoor Baller if you wanted to, but I would test out Tackle Supreme to see if it's worth it first. Because getting hit sticks in the game is not that hard, so you should be okay with that. And that's pretty much how I set my defense up with the linebackers, and obviously I'm just letting you guys see my X factor and my abilities to go forward. But those are my top linebackers. If you guys prefer Boz, you prefer whatever else, It's pretty much the same thing as long as they have the right attributes, and depending on how you play them, you're probably going to get the same result. But you want to make sure that depending on your level of play, that the players that you're choosing are cost effective, because you can still grind the game inside of the missions and get a lot of coins and buy and take your time, especially with a new promo dropping very soon with the harvest. You can go ahead and make up, you know, your team, get your level up. You don't have to rush to do this. And a lot of these cards are very, very cheap right now because they're Series 1 and Series 2. So make sure you take a look at that. Also, grind to level 70 and get those power-up passes. If you need to use it on Jadeveon Clowney, Aaron Donald, all these 92s that are out, there's different ways to build your team. You don't have to go crazy and buy packs and spend money for everything. And I've put out videos showing you guys about different ways to get power-up passes, different ways, you know, to grind the missions and things of that nature to make sure that you're getting the most out of it without spending enormous amounts of money. So again, I will be giving you guys more insight into that. For my members here on YouTube, I am working on getting you guys out a member-only video. It's going to be my first one ever, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. I want to thank you guys and girls for watching. I will be back soon. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I think I've kind of given you guys everything. Let me know what you guys want next. Leave it in the comments. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love.